Thank you for joining Siena Heights Sports Network's Coaches Speak with Scott Oliver, women's head soccer coach here at Siena Heights University. And we're going to talk about the trip down south. How did that go?
Actually, it was a lot of fun for our girls. I mean, it was a great bonding moment. You know, as far as on the field goes, we didn't necessarily play our best game against SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. But we played well. I think it was a real learning for our younger players and some of our kids. It was a devastating loss for us because we ended up losing with a minute and a half to go in the game. But we really got a lot of team bonding in, so to speak, and had a great time down there. And then we played USC Beaufort, and every opportunity that we basically could score on in the first 10 minutes, we basically almost did, and really put the game out of reach in the first basically about 15-20 minutes. And then it was easy to manage from there, and we got all our girls in, and they all got to showcase what they could do.
Talking about the USC Beaufort game and getting players in, how nice is it to have kind of a game like that where you can evaluate the younger players that you haven't maybe seen in action yet?
Yeah, it's actually something, you know, that's why we run a couple of reserve games here or there so the girls get to play. It's something that I've wanted to do in the first couple of games as well against Rochester and St. Xavier. We just didn't produce. And now really what happens is the nice luxury of having the extra girls to play and getting them in games has made my job that much more difficult, because a lot of our girls played really, really well against Beaufort in the second half for us and late in the first half, and now my job's just that much tougher because we're so deep, and there's so little differences in between individual players at positions that it's really of a matchup thing for us now. So it's been nice because now it really proves to the coaching staff that the players are as good as we think they are. They're playing in the games, regardless of how they're practicing. They can play. They're legit. And now our job just becomes putting them in the right situations against the right people in the right formations to be productive.
And then coming off a game as devastating to SCAD as it was, how did you feel like the girls were going to respond? Were you scared that they may come out more hesitant, or do you think they'd come out aggressive as they did? And
I was a little iffy. We didn't touch it. I was more upset after the SCAD game that it looked like we lost like the biggest game of our life, like our season was over. And we got out of character at the end. I was upset with our girls that we had played so hard, yet they didn't really want to congratulate themselves on losing that game, and they were really kind of emotionally gone. And my biggest thing as a coach is it's great teams are defined by how they respond not only after they lose but after they win. And I think having the day off really helped us because we didn't practice in that day off. We kind of did team stuff, went to the beach, went downtown Savannah, and I think our team was really able to put it in perspective, and then they were able to unleash that when we went to Beaufort. And we had so much else on our mind. We had a noon game, we had a 10 o'clock flight, we had the hurricane weather coming in. I don't think the girls really had a chance to think about what was going on, and we didn't know a lot about Beaufort, so it was more about us than anything else. And they just came out, and obviously they had some anger left from SCAD, and they finally put it in. And what I think, though, is that the girls were more frustrated with the way that their first three games went, and really only scoring 3 goals in the first 3 games and getting shut out at SCAD, that Beaufort was more of a showcase of, hey, we're way better than what our records have been showing or our results have been showing, and we need to do that. We're a much better offensive team. Against Beaufort, we finished our chances. We created a lot of chances. We were tougher in the box, tougher in the attacking third, and that's where I really think that our attackers really started saying, all right, we need to do that job so that our goalie and our defense doesn't have to be bailed out. And our girls really did a great job of just team defending, team attacking.
So now you'll go from playing a one-on-one trip, going 1-for-1 on the trips down south. You'll go now west over to Chicago, coming up this weekend to play in a tournament hosted by Robert Morris. First game you got on the schedule is Judson. Can you talk about them and what you expect out of your team against that team?
Judson's usually up and down out of that conference. They're both out of Chicagoland. Judson's normally ranked somewhere 3, 4, 5 maybe in their conference. They've been up to 2 before. So they're a quality school. So that game is not going to be easy. Usually St. Xavier is ranked below Judson, so that'll give us a little bit of an idea that Judson will be better than St. X. And not to look past Judson, because that's going to be a quality game for us. We almost have to have that win, because then on Sunday we face Robert Morris, who's currently ranked 4th in the NAI. And for all intents and purposes, I was at the national tournament game last year where they could have beat the national champ and just didn't score. So we've got our work cut out this weekend. It's not an easy schedule, and by any means, and both teams are, Judson's a top 40 team, or could be, if they get the right wins and right victories, and we've definitely got our work to do. Our younger players need to step up and realize that we are good, and we do need to play.
Well, thank you for joining us, Scott Oliver, and we'll talk to you next week, and look forward to seeing the Siena Heights Saints Classic in about a week and a half here.
All right, thank you.